Hey guys, so I'm almost done. I'm almost done with the semester. I showed my video to my class yesterday, and I will never do something like that again. That was the weirdest experience of just standing there. I'm watching them watching me. Oh my god, I felt so narcissistic, but everyone was very sweet, very lovely, and some of my classmates, they were like, "Oh, why don't you do a get ready with me? Why don't you do this?" So I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll try that, because blueberries are still, what are they now? $96? 96 dollars a single blueberry. So there was a YouTuber. I don't know if she still makes videos, because like I'll do phases, right? I like this. I like this podcast. Like, that's how I am. I have phases. But her name was Jade Fox, and she said white women age like pirate maps, and that has been living rent free in my head for many years. So we're gonna put on some SPF, because I don't want to look, I don't want Blackbeard to come up to my face in 10 years and be like, is that the crow's feet? Is that where the treasure is? Like, no, I don't want that. This is what Skin Aqua. Do you remember when they used to do this? Does this really help? I don't know. What is this doing? I don't know. Skin Aqua Tone Up UV Essence, SPF 50 plus, PA plus 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 plus. I don't know what that means. I got this at a Korean skincare store in Dirty Jersey. There is a plaza called Festival Plaza, and there's an H Mart there, and there's like authentic Chinese street food, and there's a restaurant called Tasty Moment that is delicious, and there's a restaurant Spice 24 that is also delicious. Like, it's a lot of deliciousness. And then there's a Korean skincare beauty store, or I guess I don't know if it's all Asian products or if it's just Korean. I don't know, but the lady who works there is like so lovely. She's so sweet. She was so sweet. I went in there the first time with my dad, and my dad is like, he's just such a lovely person. He has such a bubbly personality. And she gave my dad a free cleanser, like a free full-size cleanser, because she saw, that I'm close with my dad and stuff. And she's like, for you. And I was like, he started laughing. I was like, bro, I can't take him anywhere without him getting something for free. But okay, that is my SPF. I feel like I should put more. I'm not. It's getting to be nice out. Okay, so the semester is almost done. I've almost made it. Almost. I have a final exam tomorrow, my ASL exam. And there's a video that goes with that. But we're almost there. We're almost out the woods. So I don't know if you guys saw, but this sunscreen, it has like a little lavender tint. Because my face is usually very red. I don't know why. It's because I hail from the mountains of Caucasus. And then I do this makeup base, the Shrem. I don't know. I tried it in the Korean beauty store, and I was like, looks good. And I'll put some lavender. You see, I have trouble with the camera. I'm like, where is it? Okay. I want to look like a beautiful lilac berry. That's what I want to do. Okay. Yeah. Put this all in. So I was like, oh, well, let me make a video and let me look at what's going on with the celebrities. And I gotta be honest with you, not a lot. And I was looking at it. I forget his name, but he was in Blackish. I feel like his last name is Anderson. And it put how he has gout. Like, is this where we're at? We're talking about gout? We're talking about celebrities having gout? There's nothing going on? Nothing? God, I think there was so many articles in the beginning about Blake Lively. They were like, oh, look at her, she wore these shoes. Oh, look at her, she wore this dress. I'm like, Jesus, I couldn't really do that. I wonder if her and Ryan, I mean, obviously people are clicking on it because, oh, I gotta do this. This is NARS. This is a NARS light reflecting foundation. Ooh, it says shake well. My bad. Shake well. And it's L4 Duville. You know, I'm white, but I'm not that white. I got a little bit of undertones in my face. So, you know, I guess I'm neutral. I remember when I was like really into makeup and I would like buy everything, trying to figure out, am I cool toned? Am I neutral toned? My veins are blue and green, so I think that means that it's neutral. I think that's what they said. I don't know. Let's see. I think I put too much of the purple because I'm looking at my skin and I'm like, it looks a little, I look a little Caspery donor. Whatever. I got a bronzer. We'll figure it out, guys. We'll figure it out. Okay. This is hard. I realized those women who were doing the get ready with me and they could have a full conversation and then they could like, and there's this product. Wow, that takes a lot of strength. They made it look so easy. Damn. Women can just be so lovely, can't they? Right? Okay. What was I saying about the celebrities? Oh yeah, I saw Gal. Oh yeah, Blake Lively. They had a whole bunch of stuff about Blake, about her dress and stuff like that. And then they had like her and Anna Kendrick because they're trying to promote a simple favor again, or another simple favor, or simple favor part 2. Whatever it is, it's the sequel. And I feel it's fine. And they had a body language expert. So here's the thing about body language experts. They're all full of malarkey, nonsense, and BS, right? Now there's some stuff that we can all pick up as humans. You're like, you can tell when like a person, when it's very obvious, it's like, it doesn't, well actually, I'll rephrase that. You can make a pretty good educated guess. But in my social psychology class, my professor, he like completely annihilated it because he put up a picture of a guy and a girl and we all had different interpretations, and he's like, you can make a case for all of this. He's like, you don't really know the internal stuff that's going on, right? Now there are some things that are pretty obvious, like there are certain partners where it's like, they just do this and this, you know. There are certain people like you can kind of tell, it's like, if I pull away from you, it's like I'm probably not invested. And so the professor did say that, and he said like in his personal life he was talking to a woman and she was married and she was pregnant, but he was like talking to her at a function, right? And they are in the same field. They're clinical psychologists, and they were like so excited, you know, because to just talk to each other. And he made it a point to kind of move his body away from her because she was so excited about the conversation. He just didn't want to be misconstrued or anything like that, you know. It's the knowledge of like, okay, socially humans can be a little, you know, like very protective of our partners. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't, right? And so he's like, I don't even want to entertain that. But for the most part, there's no explicit science that you can say, this is directly that, this is this is that. Sometimes I'm with family or friends, and my body language looks a little wonky, and it's not because I'm not happy or I'm not enjoying my time with them. It's because I'm thinking about something else. I'm stressed. I'm not in the present moment. So that's why, like, body language experts, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. But they were like, oh my god, and you see Anna, and you see Blake, and her lips are pursed, and Anna doesn't have the crinkles of joy around her eyes. I'm like, these people are not best friends. Now, they probably don't like each other, but it's like, we know that. We know they're not best friends. We know that they don't like each other. How many times are we going to go down that rabbit hole of like, oh my god, this, that, the third, like, you know what I mean? So this is a blush. Peaches by MAC. Okay, that's throw some extra. Oh man, this is gonna be hard. It's very hard for me to because I'm getting the opposite. Oh man, those women were so skilled. How did they do it? I'm so impressed. Okay, that looks good to me. I think I'm gonna go after this video. I'm gonna go look in the mirror and I'm gonna look like a straight clown. I'm gonna be like, okay, I tried. I don't know what you guys want from me. But yeah, so we got some gout. We got some body language experts insisting that Anna and Blake are just mere moments away from hitting each other. I don't know. They clearly don't like each other. They don't run in the same friend groups. You know, it is what it is. I will say, surprisingly, I think the most interesting celebrity news I saw, not really news, it's more an opinion, was from Pete Davidson. I was very surprised, but Pete Davidson, he said, young people don't have a shot at finding love. And I was like, you know what, Pete? Okay, yeah, there's he kind of preaching to the gospel, right? So I'm like, look at this man. So listen to this. Pete Davidson is longing for the days of old-fashioned dating. Guess where this article was? It was on Fox News, but it makes sense, right? You know, the conservative news, even though like they're full of crap too. All of them, they're all full of crap. So let's see. He's like, dating apps are just so dismissive. That's true. It's just like, no, yes, no. That's so rude. Like, you don't even know this effing person, you know? That's true. I had the dating apps for a little bit, and something I didn't like is, you know, I don't have these crazy standards when it comes to the physicality of a person. It's personality, right? And I'm trying to look at these pictures and I'm trying to figure out, is there going to be a personality match? I don't know. And so, you know, you try to swipe on a couple guys, and almost every single guy was like, so why should I be invested in talking to you? And I'm like, we swiped on each other. Like, shouldn't we be learning about each other and seeing if we're a good match? This, oof, that was ugly. That they were like, oh yeah, look, she swiped on me. Why should I be invested? How many people swiped on you? Give me the number. Shut up. Shut up and just talk to me like a normal human being. And this was a couple years ago. I can't imagine what it is now. But you know, just be like, hi, you swiped on me, I swiped on you. Wow, that's so nice. Tell me something about yourself, like a normal human being. So I agree with Pete, but I'm reading it from my phone, guys. So they don't even have a shot. So I just hope it changes, and enough people revert backwards a little bit. Yeah, I I messed up today. I woke up and I just was listening to a podcast that comes out on Tuesdays. It's called Lemon Party. In case you're, that is very telling of my sense of humor, and how much I like dark gallows humor. But I was listening to it, and I should have known to wait to do that later, because if I start my day with just doing technology and just doing that stuff, I feel kind of lazy and sluggish for the rest of the day. It's just too much, right? So then he said, I think social media and the internet and the phone in general makes everything really difficult and can cause a lot of anxiety and get you doing bad. It's a little simplistic how he says it, but it's right. We're not supposed to see everyone's crap all day. Yeah, absolutely right. He's absolutely the only social media app I have on my phone is Instagram, and it's because friends and family insist on sending me things through their reels and stuff, and you're like, okay, well, that is us, that's cute, and you're like, okay, I can't quit you. And then sometimes they'll send me events, and Instagram was good for that. For New Jersey, it would just pop up things like, you should do this, you should do this, New Jersey has this. So it did have some benefits, right? But it is very easy to just scroll and scroll and scroll, so I try not to do that. It used to be that someone found out something, and then you either call on your house phone or you meet up and be like, hey, did you hear about this? And now you just have this thing in your pocket all day that makes you feel bad. Yeah, that's true. And Pete has been pretty open and honest about his struggles with mental health issues. So it's also not great for that. I had like, I'm pretty sure I deleted my Instagram, deleted the whole thing when I was taking care of my grandma in hospice because I felt so alone and isolated. So it was me, my dad, my mom. It was really hard for my sister, but it was mainly us three, and then one of my aunts and one of my uncles. But that uncle turned out to pull some BS. But we come from a very big, extended Hispanic family. And the thing is, when something like that happens, if the family was strong beforehand, it makes them stronger. If the family was fractured and broken beforehand, guess what? It's gonna get worse. And so I felt like a lot of my cousins and some of my aunts and uncles, they just really weren't supportive, you know. I had an uncle who was like, I don't want to see her like that, and I'm not going to be involved. And it's like, okay, but you could take me out for a coffee, when my shift is done. You can do something to foster a connection with me, you know? So a lot of people in my family just kind of showed their ass. I had cousins too. Cousins who I had helped with things, and all of a sudden there was nothing. There was no like, girl, and knowing that I had a struggle with depression, there was no like, girl, you want to get a coffee or something. But I don't even view it as super judgmental, because it's like, if the roles were reversed, I might have been in the same position, right? But because of that, that led to me feeling isolated and kind of lonely. And I would go on Instagram and I would see people that I haven't talked to in years, and they're getting engaged or they're doing this, that, the third. And it's not that I wasn't happy for them, but it was just like, I'm over here, I'm dealing with this. I feel really alone and sad. And why am I privy to this? Why am I privy to this special moment? Like, I just kind of cleaned up my Instagram, and now I really don't. If I scroll, I'll be honest, I really don't see the people, like friends and family. I really see other things, because I follow like a lot of animal pages and mental health pages, event pages, and I think it's kind of better that way. I don't, because then you're just going to compare and contrast. It's too much. It's too much. So I agree with Pete here. My advice would just be to just try and not let social media or this fictitious world, it is fake. It is very fake, that we're all trying to have a profile on, affect how you behave in your everyday life. It's so true, but it's easier said than done. And you know, I was in a class where we did presentations. We had to pick a topic. Mine was technology and the effects on children under the age of 5. Surprise, surprise, it's terrible. It's so bad. Even for a child, even having a TV in their room can affect their natural circadian rhythms and can affect their sleep patterns. So it's terrible. It's good in very, very small dosages for educational purposes. That's it. 5 and under. They have to be a bit older to handle the other aspects of tech. But there was one of my classmates, he did it on social media, he did it on how bad it is. All of the research showed it wasn't really helpful, but he's still, he's in his 20s. He's still part of the social media generation, so he's showing this, and then he's saying, he asked us what social medias we have, and I'm like, I only have Instagram. He's like, girl, you gotta get on TikTok. It's like, sir, you have just shown me the research that shows that too much social media is bad, but you're simultaneously telling me I need to be on TikTok. It's an addiction, and it's very, very hard to break. It's very hard to break. So, I agree with Pete, and that's why I'm saying it's easier said than done. There's this barrier now where people are uncomfortable and have more anxiety. Oh my gosh. I used to put my headphones on when I would walk, and I'm like, you know what, I'm missing out. And I would have some people talk to me and stuff, and I'm like, I'm missing out on connections. Just like having a nice little moment with a stranger, like, hi, how are you? It can be so lovely for the rest of your day. Complimenting someone, it could be so nice. We are social creatures at the end of the day. So I've started to take my headphones off, and sometimes I'll look at people and I'll smile, and a lot of people will smile back. Some people will smile first. It's very nice. But I have also noticed there's a lot of younger people that are just so anxious. It's like they're like want to look for a wall to go and like hide in, and I'm like, what's happening? Like, really lovely, beautiful young people who like, they're dressed in ways where it's like, oh, that's stuff that looks cool. You want to have a conversation with them, and they're just touching walls, and they're just like they almost have they're like Christina Aguilera in the I'm Beautiful music video where she's like, "Don't look at me." That's what I see, and I'm like, what is happening? And it just makes sense if you're just like this all day. To have an actual real interaction is very different. So I agree with Pete. He said, I think you just need to be nice to yourself and give yourself the benefit. Yeah, and that's true. Just be nice. Take a break. It's hard. It's not easy. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves because of the internet. Like, I know exactly what Mark Wahlberg is doing all day. I don't need to know that. That's funny. See, I love Pete so much. Pete is like, sometimes he does stuff where it's like you're side eyeing him, and it's like, Pete, go go get some therapy. He has had his moments, and he's been self aware about them. That's mad funny. Yeah, I don't need to know what Mark Wahlberg is doing all day. I don't like Mark Wahlberg. I have never, ever, ever liked that man. There's something about him that is so deeply and profoundly off-putting. He was racist. He also did commit a hate crime, and he never fully acknowledged it, took responsibility, accountability. Like, there's something about him that's just so unpleasant and gross. I mean, like, hate crime, right? And I'm over here like, there's something about him. Yes, I'm sure that there are several things about him that are just very gross. Nah, don't like him. And it's true. I don't need to know his little stupid wake up routine and his flexing, and nah, I don't need all that. That's not a slam at him. It's just an example. Like, we're not supposed to know everything all the time. I am slamming him. I don't like him. I don't need to know anything about that man. But he's right. I don't need to know everything all the time. That's what dating is, to get to know someone and fall in love. And that's what's so beautiful about it. So I think when it comes to dating, it should be more prehistoric and not on the phone or Instagram. You know, and Pete has done a lot of dating, and that is no judgment to him. His dating was very public, very out there. It is what it is. You could call me a spinster because I haven't done enough dating, so I'm not trying to be judgmental. It is what it is, right? But he's right. It is beautiful to slowly get to know someone and to fall in love. That's a beautiful process. He Riz is just being shamelessly who you are. Pete is around my age. He's like 30 something. We don't need to use Riz. We can accept that. We can look at the gray that's coming in our hair, and we could be like, that's for the younger. That's for you babies. That's not for me. It's okay. But all right. It's charisma. Okay. I I think that's attractive now, not following the pack and kind of doing your own thing. We live in a doom scrolling world where we're all trying to be what we think people want us to be, and that's not a healthy way to live. It is a nauseating way to live. It is nauseating. Nah. We are such social creatures. Our survival depends on one another. We are social, absolutely profoundly social. It affects how we think about things, it affects how we act. Think about this: when, even in our alone time, we are still being social. Somebody pointed this out. I forgot where I read it, but it was true. It's like, it might have been in the book The Body Keeps the Score. I'm not sure. But, I never pointed this out. This is my Harry Potter shower cap that my sister got me. So, my hair is drying. But I might take it off now. My hair's all wet. But, oh, look at that. It's okay. It's okay. It's alright. I'll fix it. But, where was I going? This is the problem, is I lose my train of thought so easily. I do this in real life too. That's the thing. I'm like, oh yes. Even in our alone time, we listen to music created by other people. We watch sports, other people doing sports. We watch movies, other people. We watch shows, other people. Everything is about other people. and our socialization. Isn't that crazy? Like, maybe once in a while you'll hear a person like, yeah, I watched a documentary on animals, but even that, it's narrated by somebody. It is through the lens of us viewing it. You know what I mean? It's very rare. Like, no, I just put on an aquarium. I'm just watching a fish for 2 hours. It's, it's maybe once in a while, but it's very rare, right? Everything us humans do is so deeply entrenched with each other, and that's why it's very rare to see people go against the pack. That's why it's very rare for a person to be truly an individual. Um, my professor also pointed that out. He was like, why do all of you have iPhones? He's like, you guys are not thinking for yourselves. And there's truth to that, right? It's popular opinion, what's in. Um, it's the same reason why certain parents or families, when they're poor, they'll spend the money on expensive shoes because they're like, I want my kid to fit in. That's not, that is, we can judge it, but there's an evolutionary thing in the head. Like, to survive, we need group approval, and we're going to do what we can. So other people will judge and be like, how can you spend that money on the Nikes and the Jordans? There's an evolutionary thing in your head that's telling you to survive, group approval. Now, doesn't mean we get a pass. We are have to work towards being rational, intellectual human beings, and we have to really be aware to go against that. But I think that's why you see, even though almost everyone you talk to is like, the internet is making me sick. I feel better when I'm not on the internet. I'm part of this. It's too much. I don't feel good. We're still right there, right there. One, because it's addictive. There are psychologists behind these apps and behind all these things. They are, people have jobs and they know what they're doing. They know what to do to keep you invested and interested. And it's also it's the connection with people, right? I don't want to miss out. I want to be in the know. I want to be able to, when I talk to friends, that I understand what they're talking about, right? It's hard. It's hard. I'm still trying it. My friend Camille, she there's an app where it's like, it'll monitor your screen time, and she's so funny, she's so cute, but she's very busy, and like she'll do something and then that's it. I won't hear about it. So she's like, you should get the app. And I was like, okay. And so I was waiting to hear and do it with us. And I was like, okay. So I got the app. And I was waiting to hear from her. And I'm just like, that's okay. Like, I'm used to this, It is. And then she hit me back. She's like, how's it going with the app? I was like, I didn't do anything. You said to do it with you. I was waiting for a smoke signal or something. Just started laughing. But I might probably have to try to actually use the app. But it's like, they have that box where you're supposed to put your phone, you're supposed to lock it in. Like, there's a whole market of products to get us off the phone. And it should be so simple, right? Just shut it off, just put it away, put it on charge, touch some grass, don't think about it. But it's really hard. It's really hard. Let's see what else he says. As far as young dudes, I'm having a tough time in today's society, and I can't imagine growing up with a device, a phone or computer that just makes you miserable all day and tricks you into thinking you have to go on it all day. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I told you, I woke up today and I feel sick, that I really do internally. I don't feel as great. Like, when I do these videos, when I've had my moment in the morning away from tech, I feel good, because then it's like, I'm on here, I have a purpose. It's kind of fun. I shut it off, edit whatever, and then that's it. And then I go about my day. But when I start with it and I'm ending with it, it just feels like it feels like it never ends, and it's too much. I just think social media and the internet in general is the devil. Yes, the internet was not what it was. Now it's like everything is an ad, and they follow you, and they're paying attention to everything you do. I'm in my 30s, I'm the dial-up era. I remember what it was. Now, I did catfish a lot of people, because when we got Messenger, people could just message you and they'd be like ASL, age, sex, location, and I'd be like, I'm 22, I'm in California, I'm a male, I'm in California. I was 12, female in New Jersey, like, and then it'd be funny. We're just there's other 12-year-olds catfishing me, and then they'd be like, send pics, click out. I would do that, and my parents didn't know about that, but they did tell me, don't ever share your real location. Like, I was still safe. I was just catfishing people, just having the time of my life. I'm a female, and I'm in Brazil, and I'm 32. And then they'd be like, some of the people would ask me like for my breast size, and I'd be like, no, and I just exit out. I'm like, I don't know about that. But yeah, it wasn't what it was. They were like, it was just a lot simpler. It wasn't all this. I would look up knock knock jokes, and then eventually when there was videos, I found my way to George Carlin and Bill Hicks stand up and Richard Pryor, and it served a purpose. you know it was much sweeter, much nicer. We had what was our journals? A Zanga that was always under construction, and then you'd go and you put some vague thing. People can be so fake, because like your friend like gave a brownie away to somebody else, but it was sweet. It was gentle, and it was very sweet. But let's see. Internet in general is the devil. Agreed. And I just think there's going to be new studies in the next 5, 10, 20 years of how it ruined, the future of humans. Yeah, we're already seeing it. It's sad. I'm telling you, 5 and under should not have access to the tech. And I have a friend who works at Apple, and we were talking about this, and he says he consistently has parents come in to fix the iPads, and they're like, I have my very small child on it, and she or he goes crazy if they don't have the tablet. That's poor parenting. I'm sorry, that's not good for their benefit. Do an activity, make slime. My dad would give us Twizzlers, like the ones that you could pull apart, and he'd give us a paper plate, and he would have us like make shapes and make designs and like just have fun. Think of how simple that is. And then he would make some, and like you try to make a sun or heart or something, and we were entertained by that. There was a time period before that. There was a time period before toys. George Carlin would talk about it. Give a kid a stick, let them figure it out. Getting to use your imagination. Under 5, technology affects a child's ability to be imaginative and to be creative. We are creating the world that existed in A Brave New World, and it's tragic. It's so tragic because it was so beautiful. And he said, focus on building connections in a person, even if they might find it scary and uncomfortable. I promise you it's so worth it to talk to a human and see that there is goodness in the world. Absolutely. I like going to the park. I like going on the swings. And I went to the park. Now for the park, I have my headphones on because I love listening to music. And I'm just on the swings. If I see a child, I get off the swings. I'm not a monster. But I went during a time where there was like nobody else in the park except for a woman and her young baby son. And I had my headphones on, but she, I'm smiling because the baby's looking at me. And I'm like waving. And then she starts talking to me. I take my headphones off. And then when we have a little chat, the baby's like nodding off. And it was just so nice and so lovely. And, we said bye. And it was just nice. And after she left, I threw my headphones on. And I was like smiling. I'm like, it's so nice. It's so nice to have these little moments of connection with people. We didn't even exchange names, But it was just... But I was like asking her about her son, and I don't have kids, but my friend Camille has kids, so I always talk about Camille because she's an amazing mother. She's so awesome. But I get teared up. No, she really is. Like, I love the people of my life. I really do. And so I always talk about her and how great of a mom she is. She's my aunt. I'm like, I don't have kids. I'm like, and like sometimes when they tell you, they're like, oh, she's 17 months. I'm like, you're gonna make me do math, and like, I crack jokes like that. But it's very nice, or going to a restaurant and talking to somebody at cracking a joke with someone. Um, I go to Kane University, and probably shouldn't have said it. Well, it's fine. It's fine. Everyone's cool. Be cool. But I go to Kane University. I'm graduating in May, so c'est la vie. But I go to Kane, and there's a part on the campus where all it is vending machines. That's all it is. And I wish that they had like ladies there. Sometimes you're not going to interact with the people, but one, job creation, and two, sometimes you have some really nice ladies or men who like they crack jokes with you and they're very personable. Not everybody's like that, and that's understandable. It's a job. It's 365 days. You can't be on the game all the time, but it's just an opportunity for small connections, and now that's gone, right? When I was in middle school, in seventh and eighth grade, I've always been a chunky kid. I'm a little chubby right now. It's okay. I eat well. I like to eat, and when I would get my lunch, I would just be so hungry. I would be so hungry. And so there was a lunch lady and her son we went to band with. But she was so lovely. She was so lovely. She was a full Hispanic mom. And I would just look at her. I give her the puppy dog eyes. And she'd look around and she'd give me extra. She's like, okay, here you go. She'd always give me extra food. And that was so nice. And like, I'm in my 30s. I still think about that. And like, and always like with goodwill. And like when I met her son in high school, I was like, oh, she was so lovely. Everyone always told him, your mom was just the nicest, just so sweet. And she had an impact on me. That's so lovely. These small moments of kindness, we hold on to them. They have impact on us. Sometimes you hear about how bleak and dark the world is, and it's almost unimaginable how dark and bleak the world gets. So these little moments of beauty, of kindness, you hold on to them and you foster them, and they sometimes can become our armor against the bleakness and darkness of the world, right? And we're losing out on all of these opportunities, and it sucks. It sucks. It really does. So I like that Pete said this, and then they go into his dating history. We know that that's a lot. Um, and he talks about how he's not on Instagram or social media, so he's met people in person. Okay. And he says something. He's like there's a lot of men that dated a whole bunch of women, but because I'm ugly, they wrote about me. That's heartbreaking. You know, I don't think that he's ugly, but he's not classically handsome. It's just the reality, right? Yeah, and that is humiliating. That is upsetting. I wish Pete the best. I really do. I think he got rid of his tattoos, and he's been through a lot. Losing his father in 9/11, he's been through the gambit. So I wish him nothing but the best. But he does have some moments where he'll say things that are just so spot on, and I think overall he seems like a good noodle. But yeah, everything he said, I agree with, and I think that is the most on that is the most interesting celebrity news today. Everything else was just I was looking at it and I was like, there's nothing here that makes me excited to talk about. But this, I actually really enjoyed. It made me sad, but it's important that we keep having these discussions because we're going to keep going back to the same thing. But um, hopefully you enjoyed the get ready with me. I still have to figure out, I have to look it up because it is very hard to multitask. But I hope you guys go out. If you're on the East Coast, the weather's beautiful. Oof, it's beautiful. I'm gonna go get some sun. I'm gonna go hang out with family. I gotta walk my dogs later. Today is a break from studying, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.